Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great day. Elizabeth Weeks-Rowe here, and I just wanted to take a minute to provide some background on the three most common investigational site models that we see in the clinical trials landscape. With 23 years of experience in clinical research and half of that on specific site identification and evaluation teams and practices, the one thing I learned with a site evaluation and also with the life cycle of a clinical trial is understanding each site model, the capabilities and how they work. And this is really critical to understanding and growing your site partnerships, sponsor and site partnerships. Really beneficial for CRAs who are new to a site, a clinical trial, and just a good reinforcement for those of us with the knowledge and experience of the investigational site models, but maybe not true insight into the nuances of each one, logistically, equipment, personnel, infrastructure. And I hope this video is helpful. So the first site model of the three is the dedicated clinical research site. This is either a standalone site or part of a larger network of sites. They're dedicated to clinical trials conduct, and I've had really good experience working with dedicated research sites because they understand specific therapeutic areas, what it requires logistically and personnel to execute the trial in that specific therapeutic area, and they generally take on and understand studies that they can perform, which usually makes the partnership and execution really successful. They can usually handle pretty high volume, and the study coordinators have really great experience with a lot of different variables in the trial and hats and activities because they do wear a lot of different hats. You can see study coordinators who are drawing blood, seeing patients, doing the data entry, data management. Study coordinators may even serve as the pharmacy staff working with investigational product. It just depends, but usually they have great cross-training because they've worked in this capacity on a trial at one time or another. Usually the PI is either an employee of the organization or network the site belongs to, or they contract independently with the research site and organization in the oversight and execution of the clinical trial. These sites usually use paper research charts, certainly not medical records or charts because they are not a medical clinic but a dedicated research site, or they may use electronic source and electronic regulatory. The next investigational site model is the hospital or academic health center. I've had really good experiences with these investigational site models because the PIs usually are key opinion leaders, really therapeutic experts, extensively published, not always, but sometimes, and it's just always neat meeting these investigators because I learned so much from them. They usually have study coordinators, and not always, but usually have study coordinators kind of working as project managers and working with clinical staff in the execution of trial activities. There's dedicated lab personnel. There's usually a dedicated investigational pharmacy or a pharmacy that has a research department. They usually have electronic medical record system that is kind of used in conjunction with paper source documents or electronic source documents. And I have really good experience. I've had really good experience with the academic health center. The last research site model is the medical practice, the private practice with a research department. And what I've really found super beneficial with this model is that you have the practice physicians serving as investigators. They take turns, whereas the PI on one would be a sub-I on another and vice versa. They are usually very strong with their knowledge of the therapeutic area under research conduct because they see patients in that indication in their private practice, and they have really good access to this patient population. The study coordinators are usually not clinic staff, separate, and they're part of the research department and they're dedicated to those activities. This site may or may not have a clinic pharmacy with pharmacists that kind of serve dual roles in research and in commercial drug products. It just depends. Usually these patients, the research patients, are scheduled to fit into the clinic schedule. and they either have an EMR system or paper medical records with an accompanying research chart. This is not all-inclusive, but I've worked with every model, great experiences with every model. They all have unique attributes that will help support study execution specific on the trial needs. I hope this is helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.